Pete Rose was banned from Major League Baseball for life in 1989. It was a tragedy of his own making. The debate with regard to Pete Rose always begins with the simple question, should Rose be in the Baseball Hall of Fame? Rose made his Major League Baseball debut with the Cincinnati Reds in 1963. He ended his playing career with the Reds in 1986 after several stops in between. He had a career .303 batting average, 4,256 hits, and more than 14,000 at-bats, and he played in 3,562 games. All of these are Major League Baseball records. He never took performance-enhancing drugs or steroids. Pete Rose was so loved by the city of Cincinnati and the Reds organization in particular that in August 1984 he was hired to be a player manager. He had turned his back on baseball and completely left the game after the 1986 season when he hung up his spikes as a player. Rose would have been a first-round Hall of Fame lock. Now, for all of his baseball skills, as a player and manager, Rose had a major weakness. He was a big-time gambler. It was common knowledge that he bet on horse racing, but over time there were strong and troubling suspicions that he was also betting on baseball. Major League Baseball launched a behind-the-scenes investigation, and on February 20, 1989, Rose was summoned to a meeting with the then outgoing commissioner of baseball, Peter Ueberroth, and his eventual replacement, Deputy Commissioner Bart Giamatti. Rose vehemently denied the charge, and the meeting ended in anger. On March 6, 1989, Commissioner Ueberroth launched an in-depth investigation of Rose based on his discussion with Giamatti. So, Rose was accused not of only betting on baseball in general, but on his own games while he was managing. He was betting both for and against his beloved Reds. Rose was also forced to refute accusations that he was flashing betting signals during his games to his bookies. He described the allegations as being totally ridiculous. The special counsel to the Commissioner of Baseball turned in a 225-page report highlighting Rose's gambling involvement. Commissioner Giamatti provided a copy of the report to Rose and his legal team. Rose sued Giamatti. On June 2, 1989, evidence was produced showing Rose's involvement in various bets. In August of 1989, Commissioner Giamatti banned Rose from baseball for life because of extensive evidence substantiating that he had bet on games. In the 1990s, Rose repeatedly asked for reinstatement, but his requests were shelved or denied. On January 8, 2004, Rose released his autobiography in an effort to gain reinstatement. He finally and publicly admitted that he had bet on baseball. Now, in the opinion of the public, though, he failed to clear his name with those admissions. In my opinion, Pete Rose should never be admitted to the Baseball Hall of Fame. To get the second chance he desired, to have the possibility of being recognized by baseball's Hall of Fame, Pete Rose needed to be completely truthful at the beginning. It's arguable, I suppose, that had Rose been forthcoming at the very beginning of his gambling addiction and showed contrition and sought help, Major League Baseball might have a greater willingness to forgive him. For Pete Rose, the transition from great player to manager might have been boring. When something is deeply lacking in our lives, sometimes some of us choose behavior that gives us a temporary rush. Gambling gave him that rush. He needed more and more of that fix until he bet against his own team. Pete Rose should be forever banned from consideration for the Baseball Hall of Fame. Monday Morning Ethics is a book that I co-authored, which has 31 of the most important sports scandals over the past 75 years. And if you'd like to purchase a copy, Go to leadershipbooks.com or pick up a copy on amazon.com. And by the way, subscribe to the channel if you'd like to know more stories just like this.